Yo, what's up? It's your boy Cups the Universe. You already know. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment. You know what I'm saying? Join the Universe family, join the Universe gang. You already know it's your boy Cups, right? So today we're just gonna be discussing what I noticed on the movie The Black Knight. Now the Black Knight, takes place in, current day. I guess not right now because it's an older movie, but it takes place in current times, and then the nigga, you know Martin falls under a bridge, boom, grabs the little pendant or whatever because he see a little gold chain under there, and he ends up in the medieval times, right? In medieval times, the black man amongst a bunch of European people, right? And when he came into the castle, they thought he was somebody else. They thought he was from Normandy, right? Now look at this. When the king first met Martin in that movie, he addressed him as Moor. Remember in was it not Hamlet? What's the Macbeth? Macbeth was also described as a Moor, right? But that's neither here nor there. So after he does all that, they automatically make him the gesture, right? It's funny how Martin is automatically the court gesture, right? Of this place. He could dance, he jump around, he's entertaining, he's funny, right? And that's what they took him as, like a court gesture, a clown, pretty much, right? Hilarious. So my point in this story is to get up to the point where he messed with the daughter. The daughter was on his body, and they didn't believe the daughter was on his body. You know what I'm saying? So they try to execute this man. Now this is my point of my observation right here, because witchcraft. Now in 1600s, he was in there, right? They tried to bring him to get his head chopped off and all that, right? And the guy that was supposed to cut his head off, right, started choking on an apple, right? Now the apple ain't had nothing to do with Martin, right? Because the guy that's eating the apple was just taking big bites, right? And not chewing his food properly, right? So he's choking on this apple now, right? And everybody in the crowd, that's mind you, everybody in the crowd is standing there to watch a live execution of a person, right? So it's like a sacrifice, and it's like a ritual, and it's like it's like they're happy to be there. It's like they TV show, right? That's the right. But these are the same people that would call themselves Christians in that time, right? And that don't add up. But check it. So now the whole audience is like, oh snap, sorcery. Niggas said sorcery, bro. They thought Martin was a witch because the man eating his own apple choked on his apple around the same time that he was supposed to cut his head off. So Martin get up, give this nigga the Heimlich maneuver, and everybody look like, what the fuck was that, right? Like, listen, stick with me here. This has a purpose now, right? Now everybody looking at him like he did some kind of magic maneuver or something, right? So then Martin like, all right, well, I could use this shit to my advantage. So now he like, yo, I make fire, and he lights the lighter. And they like, we got fire. You see what I'm saying? So then when he was like, yo, I'm gonna bring the clouds down and make them rain on you. Just so happens when he moved his hand, somebody shot an arrow and it set someone on fire. They was gonna believe it. Now look, this is what I'm trying to tell you. People was very superstitious and weird back in the days, man. I'm starting to really understand this for what it is. Those who knew really knew. Like, people nowadays think we be talking spirituality, or we be talking, the deeper science of the religions and all that, whatever. We be thinking people be looking at us crazy. But could you imagine how people was looking at, say, Jesus Christ? Just for an example, if that was a person walking around, right? Could you imagine that, how they looked at him when he was talking based on the time he was talking it? You see what I'm saying? They thought he was all kinds of witches and warlocks and shit. They just didn't say nothing about it. You see what I'm saying? Um, um, so witchcraft, people that say witchcraft, like I said before in one of my other videos, if they caught your ancestors making a big pot of tea or soup for the like in the woods because that's where they used to live in, they would say, "Oh, that's a witch's cauldron and the witch's brew," and they would just make up shit. They were scared of their own fucking karma from their ancestors. You know what I'm saying? And this may have been a little bit before slavery, but I'm pretty sure they did a lot of fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? Prior to, I mean, because you don't just wake up one day and say, "Yo, let's put everybody in slavery and shit." You don't just wake up one day and say that. You live that trait. You live like that amongst those that's around you, all that, and then when you get in power, you branch out. So I need people to understand that terms like the word witchcraft, that is same as word, black, Negro, right? Um, it's the same as some of these indigenous tribes, because even the indigenous tribes that got conquered or terminated by other indigenous tribes was given the name of the winning indigenous tribe. And to this day, we may call a tribe a certain name, but that might not be what that tribe actually called theyself. That might just be what somebody that wrote the history called them, because history is written by the victors, not the losers, right? So that showed me that, one, witchcraft was used to target melanated people. Two, witchcraft was bullshit. Like circumstances or situations that just happen to sync, with certain other situations, and they would just assume that, yo, that's witchcraft. They would use that to target people. They would use that to assassinate people. You understand? And then they wonder why, when they live in these lands that they killed all these indigenous people, that they got horror stories to talk about, right? Because these ghosts ain't go nowhere. These ghosts on their body. You know what I'm saying? These ghosts ain't go nowhere, bro. They still on their bodies of their descendants type shit until they correct what they did. You know what I'm saying? And that also leads up into status correction, and the government took control of that, so they created their own paperwork of that shit. But I really believe status correction is more indigenous, so you can correct your status just by voicing, in a sense, your true identity, and then getting it changed on all documents that pertain to you. Like me, myself, I don't associate with black. I don't associate with Negro. You can't call me that. Yo, what up, black man? And me truly look at you like you talking to me. I'm an Arawak. I'm an indigenous Arawak. Because my parents is from Jamaica. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm an indigenous Arawak. At least that's what I'm leading with right now. If I get deeper into it and I find it's different, which is always going to be some form of indigenousness, then that's what I would represent. But Arawak peoples was peaceful, and we tilled the land, and we was the whole entire Caribbean islands and the South Americas and a lot of the North Americas. So if somebody comes from Haiti, they're Arawak, indigenous Arawak. Even Tainos, when you go further back, is indigenous Arawaks. That's why my Hispanics, my Dominicans, my Puerto Ricans, all of us are family, because we was all a tribe in the Caribbeans. Our ancestors was all one tribe. And then certain people wanted to kill off our ancestors. So they had to come up with certain forms of religion doctrine that stuck to make them feel like, we're fighting God's war. Let's go kill those people over there because they're ungodly. That was the change between witchcraft, because before it was the devil, even though they always had the devil, witchcraft was the targeted situation that they came after people with. But then after they realized that shit wasn't gonna work too tough, they just pull it back and they just go with the devil, God, and who you worship, because you don't worship who we worship. We all worship the same God. We just don't know it. And most people on earth worship the devil. and they just don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Because I can put out a video that shows people from a Satanist, ex-Satanist nigga on a video talking to somebody, or a review of some ex-Satanist nigga, and this nigga be talking about the Travis Scott concert and talking about the portals and the summonings and the demons and the murders and how the spiritless, the shit that you don't see is ravaging through that crowd to take lives, right? With it back to where its domain of torture or torment is, which is more its state of being, right? And people would turn around 3 days later and be sitting here talking to me about some celebrity shit. And I'll be sitting here looking at them like, I'm not impressed by celebrities. I never was. I never was. You know what I'm saying? So, salute to everybody that pick up the message. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when Jesus Christ was in the wilderness, people forget that, the devil or Satan offered him 3 things, right? First, he tried to taunt him. He tried to make him make a rock into a living being. He tried to make him do some other shit. And then he told him, yo, if you bow to me, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world. Satan said this in the wilderness. So if you on planet Earth and all the great kingdoms of the world, you look at like God gave them the power to do that. Now, I'm not saying that in the aspect of right and wrong. I'm saying it in the aspect of action. So it's like, they did that with that energy to keep you from knowing the truth. Like, the world is ran by the devil, my nigga. Let's just keep it 100. Let's just say it. You know what I'm saying? Those evil intentions, those evil ideas, those unempathetic feelings, those uncompassionate heartbeats, that's who offers you the kingdoms of the world. And the humble is like, I don't need it. Christ's like, yo, the humble person or the awoken person in said time, right? Because that could be anybody that wake up. Because all he did was speak against the churches in his own beliefs. And where they went wrong, he was telling them they was wrong. And they ain't like that shit. He told them he was the king of the Jews. And they ain't like that shit. When they arrested him, they didn't just take him to the field and put him on a cross. They took him to a court. Jesus Christ was in court. And the court railroaded Jesus Christ, so to speak, in the court, as the story is pronounced or told. Them niggas railroaded him. It was a whole nother Jesus in the court. Not Jesus of Nazareth, some other Jesus. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like, you got to go deep into your own books to understand, like, yo, whenever a person wake up and whenever a person start talking the truth against functions and organizations and establishments and things of that nature, then the Satan will pop up on you when you in the wilderness, when you going through your toughest times and try to offer you everything. You know what I'm saying? And when you deny it, so the devil was the reason why Christ died in the physicality. And you know what I'm saying? Like, giving these evil ideas to people, making them look at Jesus, because they looked at Jesus Christ like a devil. They looked at Jesus Christ like, why did you heal people on the Sabbath day? They looked at Jesus Christ like, why would you have a prostitute in your midst? You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you not stone this girl? This is what they wanted Jesus Christ to be. If Jesus Christ was all those things, he would have been a superstar. He would have got killed and crucified. But because certain Jews didn't want him to be the king of the Jews, so to speak, and even in the courtroom when they hung him and they did him dirty, the judge was like, yo, his charges don't justify death sentence. They gave Jesus Christ the death sentence. So if you think about that, some criminals, some political criminals, political leaders that get arrested can be considered like Christ. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is they didn't put them to death. When they put them to death, you're not going to see people hanging on the cross no more. You're going to see them sitting in the chair. Either electric or toxic gas or toxic chemicals, right? So, as a man, because I don't know what the fuck people think is reality nowadays. But, you know, the shit that people seek in life is gonna seek you. So, know that. I seek good, so good seeks me. You can seek evil, and then that shit is gonna find your ass. One way or another. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being real. This is the polarities of it. Yeah, it's no good and no bad, but that's just how the magnetism of the shit works. You feel me? So yeah. Yo, in closing, the word witchcraft, let's get rid of that word. And also, let's get rid of the word black and Negro. Because those words don't exist. Just call yourself an indigenous being of the natural land, or find a tribe and associate yourself with it accordingly based on your geographical location and where your ancestors moved around and how they went as far back as you could find. But stop calling yourself black, because when you call yourself black and Negroes, then when they disrespect you, because it's written in the law that those titles come with 5 3/5 human status, then your ass arguing because you want the title black to be 5/5 human status, but they looking at you like you're bugging, bro. As long as you're under this title, you will never be classified as 5/5 human. You will always only be 3/5 human, because the title black and the title Negro are slaves and slave titles. And I don't care what you think is somebody else gave you that. That's like you running around calling yourself Africa. Somebody named Africa Africa. It wasn't called Africa in the ancient times. But you run around today screaming Africa, free Africa. And just in that is doing it injustice. Because you're not tapping into its true essence and power. You tapping into the cloak. You tapping into the mask. What somebody named it after they conquered it. You see what I'm saying? So yo, it's your boy Cups the Universe, man. You already know. Hit the comment button. Comment. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Little things like that helps the channel, the algorithms. If you look through the descriptions in some of my videos, you should find my Cash App, my PayPal tags and all that. Feel free if any of the words that help you do anything in your life better than what it did before, gave you encouragement or strength or anything like that, then please feel free to, send me something to my Cash App, PayPal. It will be appreciated, even though you don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? And the word witchcraft, we need to get rid of that, because that's the type they use to track you and hunt you and kill you under the status that you worship the devil. But they be the ones in secret worshiping the devil. So yo, it's your boy Cups the Universe once again, man. Signing off. Peace.